Stop. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, place both hands flat against the center of your chest and take a slow breath in. You are tired of feeling this profound, silent disconnect, aren't you? That quiet realization that you are broadcasting a massive amount of love, yet the world keeps returning static to your frequency. It is a physical weight, an energetic exhaustion that settles in your bones when you realize you have been transmitting your purest signal into a void that refuses to answer back in the same measure. It is the phantom longing that wakes you up with a heavy chest at 3 a.m., making you wonder if you were destined to walk this physical plane completely alone. It is the cold detachment you experience in a crowded room where everyone is talking, but you feel entirely alien and unseen, carrying a profound, quiet grief that no one else can measure. But I am here to tell you that this isolation is not a permanent sentence. Today, you will understand the exact architecture of your own energy. You will learn how to dismantle the invisible barrier that blocks your true counterpart, and you will discover the precise mechanism that aligns your timeline with the one who already knows you exist. Have you ever felt that profound, silent disconnect when you are broadcasting so much love, yet all you receive is static? What if finding the person who will change your life is not about searching the physical world, but about the bio-radiant broadcast layer emitting your energetic signature? You might have already noticed that there is something blocking your true counterpart, as if an invisible wall keeps you in the same cycles of isolation. But what if what you call this quiet realization is just the reflection of a bio-radiant broadcast layer that you haven't fully calibrated yet? Now think with me. What if this silent disconnect wasn't a punishment? What if the heavy chest at 3 a.m. and the cold detachment in a crowded room were trying to manifest for years, but certain codes hadn't been understood? What if every cycle of isolation was a sign pointing to a mechanism you haven't seen yet, leading to a truth you were still missing? It was in seeking answers to this that I recommend to you this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This book is not just a reading. It is a material created for those who wish to understand the invisible mechanisms that influence results, prosperity, personal fulfillment, and growth. Throughout its pages, you will discover the exact frequency calibrations capable of transforming how you interpret your cosmic connections. You will understand why some repeat cycles of isolation, while others break the invisible wall. Many people already feel they need to change something in the way they think, act, and direct their choices, but they still haven't made the decision to access this knowledge. Download it right now. It's available in the first pinned comment. But be warned, few copies remain available. Do not wait another year searching in the same empty places. Click now, download your copy, and discover why the frequency that aligns your timeline could be much closer to you than you imagine. And about exactly this, about the heavy chest at 3 a.m., about the cold detachment in a crowded room, about the sudden heat of recognition in your palms. There is a 3-minute key that fits perfectly into the very next time someone tries to enter your energetic field, and which I will show you later on. But what they didn't want you to know is right here. Tuck it away in the depth of your awareness, and beyond our digital guide, Soul, you have here another way to strengthen this message that arrived for you today, and to make it reach more and more souls like you. We don't receive a single cent for each word I deliver to you every day on this channel. As a way for you to give back something of what you receive here, we also keep a voluntary donation link open right below the digital book in the first pinned comment. Any amount that fits in your hand today, any sum your heart points to. This is what keeps our channel standing. This is what makes the next message reach another soul who needs it, exactly the way you needed it today. I'll see you there, soul. And if you need to leave before the end of this video, this revelation is already waiting for you in the first pinned comment, right below here. But I ask that you stay because, without the context that comes now, the key does not operate with the same force over the timeline you are trying to align. But the name of what is happening to you hasn't been said yet. You have been told your entire life that you are simply too sensitive, that you expect too much from the world, or that you need to lower your standards if you ever want to find a true connection. The spiritual adversaries have spent years convincing you that this profound isolation is your permanent reality. But what if I told you that your physical body has been recording a completely different truth this entire time? The symptoms you have been experiencing, the heavy weight you carry, they are not flaws in your psychology. They are precise, biological indicators that your frequency is actively trying to pierce through the static of this physical plane. There are 5 specific signs that reveal your energetic signature is working tirelessly to align with its destined counterpart. Listen to these carefully because your body already knows them. The first sign is the phantom proximity. You wake up suddenly between 3:00 and 4:00 a.m. Your heart is racing in the dark, not with fear or panic, but with an intense, unexplainable longing for someone you haven't even met yet. It feels as if they were standing right beside your bed, their presence so vivid that the physical room feels entirely different. The world tries to medicate this, calling it insomnia or nocturnal anxiety. But in the architecture of your energy, this is a bio-radiant distress call. Your physical body is detecting a timeline intersection. It is feeling the magnetic pull of a frequency that perfectly matches yours, sensing their proximity in the field, even if your conscious mind cannot put a face or a name to the signal yet. The second sign is the vibrational repulsion. You walk into a room, you meet new people, you engage in everyday conversations, and within a matter of minutes, your physical body feels inexplicably heavy and completely drained. You find yourself retreating into a quiet silence, desperately wanting to leave. The world tells you that you are just introverted, socially anxious, or easily exhausted. But the truth is far more profound. Your cells are actively rejecting their frequency before they even speak a word. Your bio-radiant broadcast layer is acting as an automated defense mechanism. It is immediately shutting down your energy reserves to prevent you from synchronizing with a timeline that would only bring you more static, protecting your core frequency from being diluted. The third sign is the familial alienation. You are sitting at the family dinner table, surrounded by people who are talking, laughing, passing food, and sharing the same physical space. Yet, in the very middle of it all, you feel completely alien and unseen, experiencing a profound, quiet grief that you must carefully hide behind a polite smile. They know your name, they know your history, they have known you since you were born, but they cannot read your energetic signature. It is a biological loneliness, a devastating realization that the people who are closest to you physically are light years away from you vibrationally. You're broadcasting a massive amount of love, but they lack the receiver to decode it. And about sitting at the family dinner table, feeling completely alien and unseen. This is exactly why the digital book is the required next step. Go to the first pinned comment and secure yours. The fourth sign is the unprovoked grief. You are doing something completely ordinary in your day, washing the dishes, driving down a familiar road in silence, folding clothes, and suddenly, a random wave of profound sadness hits you out of nowhere. It is a heavy sorrow that clearly does not belong to the present moment or to any logical thought you were having. You are not crying for what you have lost in this lifetime. Your body is remembering a timeline of profound connection that your mind simply hasn't accessed yet. It is the grief of a bio-radiant broadcast layer that knows exactly what it is capable of emitting, but feels currently trapped in a holding pattern, waiting for a counterpart that seems to be delayed in the physical realm. The fifth sign is the magnetic surge. Out of nowhere, you feel a sudden intense heat in the center of your chest when you make a choice that is deeply aligned with your truth. It happens when you finally say no to a draining situation, when you refuse to settle, or when you read a truth that resonates so deeply it shakes your bones. This is not a metaphor or a fleeting emotion. It is a biological confirmation. Your heart's electromagnetic torus field is physically expanding, confirming that your true signal has successfully reached the cosmic grid. It is your body telling you that you have just recalibrated your coordinates and brought your true timeline one step closer. If you recognized at least 3 of these 5 signs in your own life, it is not a coincidence that you are hearing my voice right now. The Council, the universe, and your own consciousness have already brought you here for a specific reason. You are not broken. You are not too demanding. And you are certainly not destined to remain in this quiet isolation. You are simply operating a massive, highly advanced energetic architecture without having been given the proper manual to direct your transmission. The static is not your fault, but the recalibration is your responsibility. Type 555. In the Council's system, 555 is a timeline transition. Your comment is not platform interaction. It is a location marker in the field. Before I show you the key that will unlock the bio-radiant broadcast layer, there is a classification in the archives, which crossed the cosmic records, that defines exactly the state of your frequency. The opening of this hour you are crossing has been seen. Because between feeling the call and understanding the response, there is an interval that the spiritual adversaries know better than you do, not because the wisdom was denied, but because the very next time someone tries to enter your energetic field arrived, and your bio-radiant broadcast layer was still emitting static instead of a pure signal. And I tell you this because I have seen it happen. I have seen souls spend decades waiting, sitting at the family dinner table feeling completely alien and unseen, thinking this was their permanent reality. I have seen the heavy chest at 3 a.m. dissolve into peace. I have seen the cold detachment in a crowded room transform into magnetic presence. I have seen the sudden heat of recognition in the palms confirm that the true signal reached the grid. It is not about forcing a connection, it is about emitting the right signal. I have seen the spiritual adversaries use the cycle of distraction to keep these souls hidden and their bio-radiant broadcast layer scrambled. They use the isolation of perception to convince you that the problem is yours. And you already know this. You just hadn't given it a name yet. Perhaps you have already felt how exhausting it is to constantly broadcast a massive amount of love, only to receive static in return. How many times have you retreated into silence in a crowded room, desperately wanting to leave, because your cells were actively rejecting the frequency around you? And what if the heavy chest waking you up at 3 a.m. wasn't nocturnal anxiety, but a biological distress call from an energetic architecture trying to manifest a timeline intersection? Put your thumb on your index finger right now if you feel this truth. Hold it there for a moment and anchor this frequency in your physical body. It was exactly in search of this answer that I arrived at this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This is not just another read. It is the exact frequency calibration capable of dismantling the cloaking device that hides your signal. There are few copies available on the official system. Tap the link in the first pinned comment right now, secure your copy, and leave it registered in the comments below. Activated. Because the voice of doubt has no power to stop what the Council, the universe, and your own consciousness have already started in you. The digital book that is in the first pinned comment was built precisely upon this architecture. It is not about changing who you are. It is about anchoring your true energetic signature. Because whoever synchronizes the bio-radiant broadcast finds the destined timeline in the very place the world only promised isolation. And it costs less than a Friday night pizza that you order when you're just trying to numb the profound, quiet grief. It costs less than a Saturday snack or the trivial distractions you use to ignore the phantom longing at 3 a.m. This hesitation you feel right now has a name. It is the bio-radiant broadcast layer, acting as a shield disguised as rationality. You have 12 months of access to these codes, not because it is worth less, but because the recalibration must be accessible before the timeline shifts completely. And it comes with a 7-day guarantee. If you open it, read it, and it doesn't align with your field, you send an email and receive your entire money back. No questions, no processes, no judgment. We take all the risk, especially when what is at stake is the very next time someone tries to enter your energetic field. The risk is entirely ours. The decision to emit the true signal is yours. A soul exactly like you applied this. Let's call her Sarah, 42 years old. It was a Tuesday evening, and she was exhausted by the cold detachment in crowded rooms, feeling her bio-radiant broadcast layer completely drained. She opened this same digital book, followed the exact calibration of her heart's torus field, and the heavy chest at 3 a.m. dissolved into peace. The person who was looking for her simply aligned with her newly emitted signal and the cloaking device was dismantled. Another soul, 35 years old, felt exactly the same. It was a random afternoon, sitting at the family dinner table, feeling completely alien and unseen. He accessed these codes, recalibrated his energetic signature, and the sudden heat of recognition in his palms confirmed that his frequency had finally reached the grid. And a third soul, 50 years old, spent years waking up at 3 a.m. with a phantom longing, thinking this isolation was a permanent sentence. She anchored this knowledge, dismantled the cloaking device, and the magnetic pull brought the destined timeline straight into her physical reality. But the world still doesn't notice this invisible wall that blocks your true counterpart. Your family doesn't notice this invisible wall that blocks your true counterpart. And the spiritual adversaries certainly do not want you to notice this invisible wall that blocks your true counterpart. And this invisible wall that blocks your true counterpart continues to arrive, exactly when you try to force a connection with frequencies that only return static. If this transmission is removing a weight from your shoulders, and if the words you are hearing are bringing light to the next word that is still to come, I ask that you make your voluntary donation now. As I told you earlier, the official link is also in the first pinned comment. Every gesture like this supports our channel, serves as the shield that protects this work, and prevents the spiritual adversaries from silencing this truth. I wait for you there, again, soul. But there is a classification in the archives you need to understand. Before you can fully command your energetic signature, you must understand the exact mechanics of this frequency alignment, a word that came from the ancestral archives. Look closely at what happens next. You have spent years believing that the distance between you and a profound connection was a matter of time, geography, or simply meeting the right people. You have been trying to find your cosmic counterpart by searching desperately in the physical world, manipulating external circumstances, analyzing psychological patterns, and hoping that the next encounter would finally feel like home. But you have been working on the wrong level entirely. The true blockage is not in your physical environment, nor is it a flaw in your personality. It is deeply embedded in your bio-radiant broadcast layer. This bio-radiant broadcast layer is the invisible architectural foundation of your energetic signature. It is anchored directly within your heart's electromagnetic torus field, functioning as a continuous transmission of biophotonic emission that interacts directly with the Schumann resonance of the Earth itself. It is the precise frequency that precedes every word you speak, every room you enter, and every timeline you attempt to anchor. While you were busy trying to logically explain your profound silent disconnect, this layer was silently emitting your exact coordinates to the cosmic grid. But without you knowing it, this transmission was being systematically intercepted. The spiritual adversaries, operating through the voice of doubt, the cycle of distraction, and the isolation of perception, cannot create. They can only distort. Because they cannot destroy your light, they slowly wrapped your bio-radiant broadcast layer in a cloaking device made of societal static. They convinced you that your heavy chest at 3 a.m. was just nocturnal anxiety, rather than a suppressed signal trying to break free. They could not stop your destined counterpart from existing, so they simply scrambled your coordinates, ensuring that you both kept walking past each other in the physical plane, while your energetic signatures remained completely invisible to one another. To dismantle this cloaking device, the Council requires your conscious alignment. You must agree to 3 micro-commitments right now, anchoring them in your physical body. First, you must stop trying to force connections with frequencies that actively drain your biophotonic field. Second, you must choose to recognize the sudden heat of recognition in your palms as a biological truth, rather than dismissing it as a fleeting emotion. And third, you must willingly surrender the fear of seeming strange to a world that only knows how to return static to your pure frequency. These adversaries cannot replicate this frequency. They operate purely on fear, division, and physical rationale. When you finally activate your true bio-radiant broadcast layer, you emit a signature so pure, so undeniably authentic, that it completely overrides their containment field. It creates a magnetic grid of resonance that they simply cannot penetrate, perceive, or disrupt. The moment your signal clears, their illusions instantly dissolve. Think of this mechanism as a massive, ancient lighthouse operating in the thickest, most impenetrable fog imaginable. As long as the light is turned inward, analyzing its own mechanisms, doubting its own brightness, and grieving the darkness, the ships desperately looking for its shores will continue to crash against the rocks or sail endlessly into the void. The lighthouse does not need to jump into the freezing water and desperately swim out to find the ships. It only needs to clear the glass, recalibrate its internal power source, and emit the pure, unhindered beam it was uniquely designed to project. The moment the signal cuts through the static, the ships simply align their compasses and arrive. I will tell you about a soul. I will call her M. That is not her real name. It is the name we give to those who have crossed the threshold. M arrived exactly where you are right now. She carried the same profound sense of isolation, that same phantom longing at 3 a.m., wondering if she was destined to walk this physical plane completely alone, despite knowing she held a massive reservoir of love. She sat at the family dinner table, surrounded by voices, yet felt entirely alien and unseen, carrying a profound, quiet grief that no one else could measure or understand. Then, the first shift happened. M realized her isolation wasn't a cosmic punishment, it was a containment field. But the moment she recognized this truth, the spiritual adversaries immediately launched their counterattack. The voice of doubt whispered relentlessly in her ear, telling her that she was just getting older, that her standards were impossibly high, that she was meant to focus only on her mission and forget about partnership entirely. They tried to convince her that the cold detachment she felt in a crowded room was proof that she was fundamentally broken. But M stopped listening to the static of the physical world. She stopped trying to force connections with frequencies that drained her biophotonic field and left her exhausted. Instead, she went into the absolute silence of her own architecture and began to deliberately recalibrate her bio-radiant broadcast layer. She endured the profound quiet before the timeline shifted, trusting the invisible mechanism of her heart's torus field more than the empty physical reality surrounding her. She became the lighthouse that stopped swimming into the dark. The breakthrough didn't come with loud fireworks or dramatic cosmic events. It came as a quiet, magnetic surge in the center of her chest on a random Tuesday. She didn't have to search anymore. The person who was looking for her simply aligned with her newly emitted signal. The cloaking device was permanently dismantled. The heavy chest at 3 a.m. dissolved into absolute peace, and the timeline convergence she had always felt in her bones was finally anchored into her physical reality. M didn't look back at the years of loneliness with anger. She understood that the intense, painful waiting period was the exact crucible required to tune her frequency to its highest capacity. She looked at the adversaries not with fear or resentment, but with the quiet authority of someone who had successfully overridden their entire system. She realized that the static was merely the resistance her pure signal needed to ultimately break through the veil. And M did not take this wisdom into the silence. She left it recorded with precision. She documented the exact mechanics of this frequency alignment, mapping the very steps required to dismantle the cloaking device, recalibrate the torus field, and emit the true signal. And it is exactly this practical applied wisdom that is inside the digital book you will find in the first pinned comment. But the deepest truth is still ahead. The wisdom M left behind is not an abstract theory meant to be pondered in silence or debated in the mind. It is a biological reality that is operating within your physical vessel right now, in this exact second. Every time you step out of your door, every time you breathe, your heart's torus field is interacting with the Schumann resonance of the earth. You are either projecting your true, pure, energetic signature, or you are unintentionally cloaking it beneath layers of societal static. To finally dismantle this cloaking device and end the cycle of isolation, you must first recognize the exact energetic role you were designed to play in this timeline. The Council recognizes three distinct architectures, three unique archetypes of frequency that exist in souls like yours. You must identify yours to understand how your signal operates. The first architecture is the empath. If you carry this signature, your bio-radiant broadcast layer is designed with a profound, almost microscopic sensitivity to the emotional fluctuations in the fields around you. Your definition in the cosmic records is the one who absorbs and transmutes emotional density. You recognize this within yourself because you are the one who feels the unprovoked grief while washing the dishes, the one who can sense the unspoken sorrow of a stranger from across the room. Your function in the collective awakening is crucial. You are meant to clear the heavy density of the planetary grid. But without understanding your own mechanics, this massive gift becomes your heaviest burden, leading straight into that cold detachment in a crowded room where you are forced to shut down your own signal just to survive the noise. The second architecture is the grid keeper. If you possess this energetic signature, your torus field acts as a massive anchor point for high-frequency light. Your definition is the stabilizer, the one who holds the pure frequency of a physical space simply by existing within it. The sign of recognition for a grid keeper is that sudden heat in the center of your chest when you stand your ground and refuse to lower your vibration for the comfort of others. Your role is to establish the magnetic blueprint where timeline convergences can physically manifest for yourself and others. When you are misaligned and unaware of this power, you feel an intense familial alienation. You find yourself sitting at the family dinner table, feeling completely alien and unseen because you are unconsciously trying to anchor a multidimensional frequency in a strictly three-dimensional environment. The third architecture is the catalyst. If this is your blueprint, your frequency is inherently disruptive to the static of the physical plane. Your definition is the initiator of rapid timeline shifts. You recognize this in yourself through the intense vibrational repulsion you experience daily. Your physical body becomes heavily drained when encountering people who are clinging to false matrices, and your cells actively reject their frequency before a single word is spoken. Your cosmic function is to dismantle outdated structures just by walking into a room and holding your light. But when a catalyst forgets their true nature, they misinterpret this disruptive power as a fatal flaw, waking up with a heavy chest at 3 a.m., tragically believing they are too intense and destined to walk this physical plane completely alone. The empath without the complete key is just a sponge absorbing the world's static instead of emitting a pure signal. Whether your architecture is that of the empath, the grid keeper, or the catalyst, the very next time someone tries to enter your energetic field, you must know how to command your bio-radiant broadcast layer. If you recognize your soul in these words, I ask you to subscribe to this channel right now, anchoring your identity into a community that actually sees your true frequency. And to stop absorbing the static once and for all, the digital book, The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success, is waiting for you in the first pinned comment. You have 12 months of access to master these applied codes, but you need to act and realign your coordinates within the next 72 hours. When you finally understand which archetype governs your field, the entire framework of your reality shifts. You transition from a defensive stance of merely surviving the static to a conscious, deliberate transmission of light. You stop trying to protect yourself from the world by building walls, and you begin to project the exact coordinates necessary for your destined counterpart to find you. This is the magnetic blueprint in full action. You are no longer searching desperately in the dark. You become the undeniable lighthouse that cuts through the fog. The universe responds immediately to this structural shift. This framework, recognizing your archetype, recalibrating your bio-radiant broadcast layer, and holding the pure signal, is the exact mechanism that collapses the distance between you and the person who already knows you exist. It is the definitive dismantling of this invisible wall that blocks your true counterpart. When you own your architecture, the phantom longing is replaced by a profound, unshakable certainty. You do not need to wait for a massive cosmic event to validate what your physical body already knows to be true. Type "activated" in the comments below to seal this frequency in your physical body right now. It is a direct declaration to the cosmic grid that you are no longer hiding beneath the static, that you have recognized your unique architecture, and that your signal is finally pure. But I still haven't told you the most important thing about the forces actively trying to scramble your transmission. As you hear this, a logical part of your mind might try to pull you back into the comfort of rationality. You might ask yourself if this profound, silent disconnect is simply you being antisocial, or if you are using this idea of an energetic signature as an excuse for why past relationships failed to thrive. You might wonder if the heavy chest at 3 a.m. is nothing more than accumulated stress, and if this entire concept of a bio-radiant broadcast layer is just a comforting illusion created by a mind desperate for deeper meaning. I want you to know that this questioning is completely natural. It is the exact response of a brilliant mind trained its entire life to survive in a strictly three-dimensional world. But I also want you to understand that this skepticism does not originate from your core essence. It is the friction between your rapidly expanding torus field and the dense physical reality that has always demanded you shrink your light to fit its narrow definitions. When you doubt the validity of the sudden heat in your palms or the physical exhaustion you feel in certain crowded rooms, you are simply trying to apply a standard physical diagnosis to a highly advanced quantum mechanism. You are trying to measure a cosmic frequency using the limited tools of societal expectation. Your bio-radiant broadcast layer is not an abstract psychological concept or an excuse to hide. It is a precise, measurable emission of biophotonic energy that precedes your physical actions. The doubt you feel right now is simply the static of the grid attempting to recalibrate your pure signal back into compliance. It is not your enemy, but it is also not your ultimate truth. The moment you gently acknowledge this rational doubt without letting it command your transmission, you reclaim the power over your own coordinates and begin to dismantle the interference that kept you isolated. The first specific tactic the spiritual adversaries use to scramble your transmission is the voice of doubt. This happens exactly when you are on the verge of a breakthrough, when you finally decide to walk away from a draining connection, or when you feel that sudden magnetic surge confirming your true timeline. In that exact moment, a voice whispers in your mind, telling you that you are making a mistake, that your standards are simply too high, and that you will end up completely alone if you do not compromise. It sounds incredibly legitimate because it perfectly mimics the tone of your own rational thoughts, wearing the disguise of self-preservation. But it is not your voice. It is a calculated insertion designed to make your bio-radiant broadcast layer emit fear instead of pure resonance. The second tactic is the cycle of distraction. Just as your heart's torus field begins to generate enough momentum to pierce through the cloaking device, suddenly, the physical world floods you with trivial emergencies. Mundane tasks multiply, minor conflicts arise out of nowhere, and the digital noise of the world pulls your focus away from your internal architecture. It feels entirely justified because these issues appear urgent and demand your immediate attention. But this is not random bad luck. It is a deliberate disruption of your frequency. The adversaries know they cannot stop your light, so they keep you endlessly occupied with putting out small fires in the physical realm, ensuring that your energetic signature remains too scattered to ever lock onto your destined counterpart. The third tactic is the isolation of perception. This is the heavy, suffocating illusion that you are the only one experiencing this profound disconnect. It hits you the hardest when you are sitting at the family dinner table, feeling completely alien and unseen, convinced that no one in the world could possibly understand the complex grief you carry. It seems like a logical conclusion based on your physical surroundings, but this is the most insidious trick of all. By convincing you that you are a solitary anomaly, the adversaries ensure that your bio-radiant broadcast layer collapses inward instead of reaching out to the grid. They use your own massive capacity for love against you, making you believe that your unique frequency is a curse rather than the exact key required to align your timeline. To counter the voice of doubt, you must activate the shield of resonance. When that familiar fear whispers that you are destined to walk this plane alone, do not engage in a mental argument with it. Arguing only feeds it more of your biophotonic energy. Instead, immediately place both hands flat against the center of your chest and take 3 slow breaths directly into your heart's torus field. By shifting your attention from the mental static back to your biological anchor, you instantly cut the power supply to the doubt, allowing your true signal to emit purely once again. To shatter the cycle of distraction, you must wield the anchor of presence. When the trivial emergencies of the physical world suddenly surge to pull you out of alignment, the most radical act of rebellion is to resolve them with absolute calm while fiercely maintaining your internal warmth. Handle the mundane demands. but do so with the unshakable authority of someone who knows their true coordinates. By refusing to let your bio-radiant broadcast layer become agitated by external noise, you prove that their disruptions can no longer scatter your frequency, transforming the distraction into profound energetic mastery. To dismantle the isolation of perception, you must ignite the light of recognition. The next time you feel that cold detachment in a crowded room, consciously choose to return your signal to the collective grid. Acknowledge the heaviness, but immediately remind your cells that your isolation is merely a temporary cloaking device. Visualize your frequency expanding outward, seeking the resonance of the Council and the countless other souls anchoring the exact same light. By choosing to broadcast love even when surrounded by static, you instantly dissolve the illusion of separation and reactivate your magnetic pull. If you want to master the bio-radiant broadcast layer, the very next time someone tries to enter your energetic field, you must possess the precise coordinates to hold your ground without collapsing your light. When the isolation hits and makes you feel completely alien in a crowded room, when the static rises to drown out your true magnetic frequency, and when the doubt whispers that you will always remain unseen by the world, you have exactly 72 hours to implement this energetic recalibration before the old, heavy patterns solidify once again in your physical body. It is the voice you confuse with your own that desperately tries to keep you anchored in the familiar pain of the past, convincing you that the invisible wall blocking your true counterpart is permanent. To ensure your signal permanently cuts through this interference and reaches the grid, the digital book, The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success, is waiting for you right now in the first pinned comment. You do not have to fight the dense gravity of this physical plane blindly anymore, absorbing the exhaustion of those who refuse to awaken. You only need to align your internal compass with the practical, applied wisdom that has already been carefully mapped out for your ultimate liberation. But I must warn you, with the deepest love and gravity your soul can receive. If you hear this truth today, if you feel the resonance in your bones, and yet you choose to turn away and let the static swallow your signal once more, the physical weight will only grow heavier. The heavy chest at 3 a.m. will become a louder alarm, and the profound, silent disconnect will amplify until it forces you to face the architecture you are currently avoiding. The universe does not punish you, but it will continually return you to the exact same lessons until you finally agree to dismantle the cloaking device and claim the timeline you were born to inhabit. The physical symptoms you are about to experience next are the ultimate proof of this transition. In the next 72 hours, 3 things might happen in your physical body. Do not be afraid of any of them. They are not signs of illness, physical fatigue, or psychological distress. They are the direct biological evidence that your bio-radiant broadcast layer is finally dismantling the static that kept you hidden. As you integrate the codes you have received today, your physical vessel must completely recalibrate its architecture to hold and emit this new, pure signal. The transition from an isolated receiver to a magnetic lighthouse requires a physiological adjustment, and your body is simply confirming that the timeline shift is already underway. The first symptom is the vestibular shift. You might experience a sudden, unexplainable wave of dizziness while simply walking down a hallway, standing in your kitchen, or going about your normal routine. The physical world will immediately try to convince you that you are just tired, dehydrated, or overworked. But this is not physical exhaustion. It is the physiological evidence of recalibrating your timeline coordinates. Your torus field is rapidly shifting its magnetic axis, pulling you out of the isolation grid and anchoring you into a higher frequency of cosmic convergence. When this happens, do not panic and do not try to walk through it. Simply stop moving. Plant your heels firmly into the ground and let the coordinates lock into place. The second symptom is the thermal flush. Out of nowhere, you will feel an intense, unexplained heat spreading across your upper back, right between your shoulder blades, or rising up your spine. Your rational mind will try to find a logical source for this sudden warmth in your environment. But this is not a random temperature fluctuation. It is the direct physical sensation of dismantling the cloaking device that the adversaries placed over your energetic signature. Your massive biophotonic emission is literally burning through the layers of societal static that kept you invisible. When you feel this heat, do not ignore it. Roll your shoulders back, breathe out heavily through your mouth and allow the heavy shield to dissolve completely from your field. The third symptom is the auditory ringing. You will be sitting in absolute silence, doing mundane tasks, and suddenly, a high-pitched crystalline tone will activate in your left ear. It will not sound like a physical noise from the room, but rather an energetic transmission cutting effortlessly through the dense gravity of this dimension. This is not a biological malfunction or a sign of damage. It is the precise frequency matching the cosmic grid. Your bio-radiant broadcast layer is receiving direct confirmation that your true signal has been intercepted by the exact destined counterpart who is waiting for your coordinates. When this tone arrives, do not try to distract yourself. Gently massage the base of your neck, breathe into the sound and welcome the transmission. Press the like button on this video right now to anchor this transmission into the grid. Your action here is not a metric for a digital platform, nor is it a meaningless interaction designed for an algorithm. It is a physical, conscious service to the collective field, an energetic stamp that tells the universe your coordinates are now permanently visible. By doing this, you are creating a brilliant beacon for another soul who is currently waking up with a heavy chest at 3 a.m., helping them find this exact same frequency and realize they are no longer alone. Now prepare your physical vessel for the final alignment. Uncross your legs, place both feet completely flat on the floor, and straighten your spine to open the central energetic column. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, releasing the defensive posture you have carried for years. Rest your hands open on your lap, palms facing upward to receive, and gently close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, expanding your stomach fully, and let it out with a quiet, releasing sigh. We are going to bypass the rational, doubting mind and speak directly to the magnificent architecture of your bio-radiant layer. Visualize a massive, brilliant golden anchor dropping straight from the base of your spine, traveling rapidly down through the floor, through the soil, and diving deep into the crystalline core of the earth. Feel it lock securely into place with a heavy, satisfying weight. You are now plugging your physical body directly into the Schumann resonance, drawing up that pure grounding 783 Hz frequency. Feel this steady, ancient, rhythmic pulse rising up through the soles of your feet, traveling up your legs, and filling your pelvis with a profound, unshakable stability. You are completely supported by the magnetic grid of this planet, and there is absolutely nothing that can uproot you. Now, draw that rising energy up into your solar plexus and straight into your heart. See a vibrant amber sphere of light igniting in your stomach, glowing with intense warmth, and merging instantly with a brilliant emerald green orb expanding in the very center of your chest. Watch as they fuse together to form the biophotonic bridge, a massive spinning torus field of pure undeniable resonance. Feel the immense heat of this bridge radiating outward, pushing past your skin, extending miles into the physical space around you. This is your true signature, burning away every trace of static, every repetitive cycle of isolation, and every false matrix you were ever forced to inhabit to survive. Let this brilliant, concentrated light travel up into your throat, clearing the silent screams, and moving all the way into the center of your brain, directly illuminating your pineal gland. See the tiny piezoelectric crystals inside your mind, activating, flashing with a luminous, crystalline electric charge that awakens your highest sight. Feel your internal photoreceptors waking up from a long, dormant sleep, completely flooded with divine illumination. This pure signal is now rushing down the vagus fiber optic network of your nervous system, rewriting every single cell, every ancestral memory, and every timeline coordinate with the absolute, unquestionable truth of who you truly are. Feel your crown chakra bursting wide open, expanding endlessly into the cosmic grid above you, connecting you directly to the Council and the vast, luminous network of aligned starseeds all across this plane. To seal this frequency into your physical matter right now, press your thumb firmly against your index finger and hold it there with intention for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Now, Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds. Hold that pure, blinding light in your chest for 2 seconds and exhale completely for 6 seconds, pushing the very last remnants of the cloaking device entirely out of your field. Keep your thumb pressed lightly to your index finger as an anchor. Feel the profound, sweeping peace that has finally settled over your physical vessel. The heavy chest at 3 a.m. is entirely gone. The cold detachment you used to feel in a crowded room has completely dissolved into the light. The static is broken forever. Slowly, gently, bring your awareness back to the physical room you are sitting in. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice the solid weight of your body supported by the chair. You can slowly open your eyes, but keep your internal vision firmly locked onto this new, undeniable reality you have just claimed. We release the fear of seeming strange to a world that is completely comfortable in its own density. We release the heavy chest at 3 a.m. that kept you trapped in a phantom longing for a connection you thought you would never find. We release the cold detachment in a crowded room, the heavy exhaustion of absorbing frequencies that only serve to drain your magnificent light. We release the familial alienation, the profound quiet grief of sitting at the dinner table and feeling entirely alien and unseen by those who were supposed to know you best. They no longer belong to your architecture. The empath. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized. And now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. The grid keeper. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized. And now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. The catalyst. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized, and now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. But the deepest sealing of this timeline still requires one final declaration. We cover your physical body. We wrap the dense exhaustion that settled in your bones and dissolve the heavy weight of isolation that you carried into those crowded rooms. We cover your bio-radiant broadcast layer. We seal the precise frequency of your heart's torus field, shielding it from the static of the world and ensuring that your pure emission remains completely untouched by external disruption. We cover your timeline. We secure the magnetic blueprint you have just activated, aligning your coordinates so flawlessly that the person who is already looking for you will encounter absolutely no resistance when their signal meets yours. We break the voice of doubt before it reaches your mind, allowing your true signal to emit purely without fear. We dissolve the cycle of distraction before it materializes in your day, ensuring your bio-radiant broadcast layer remains focused and anchored. We dismantle the isolation of perception before it closes you out from the grid, instantly reactivating your magnetic pull toward your destined counterpart. We recognize the profound, silent disconnect you have carried for so long. We have seen the phantom longing that woke you up with a heavy chest at 3 a.m., and we witnessed the quiet grief you hid behind a polite smile while sitting at the family dinner table, feeling entirely alien and unseen. But that vibrational repulsion was never a flaw in your psychology. It was your cells actively protecting your pure frequency. The sudden heat of recognition in your palms and the unprovoked grief were not burdens to bear, but the exact biological indicators proving your energetic signature was working tirelessly to align your path. The immense restlessness that drove you to search the physical world desperately is now completely dissolved. You no longer need to force connections or manipulate external circumstances because the invisible barrier that blocks your true counterpart has been permanently dismantled from your field. This cycle of isolation, the years of broadcasting a massive amount of love only to receive static in return, is now officially closed. The cloaking device has fallen, and the waiting period that served as your crucible is complete. You are calibrated. You are anchored. You are activated. Your heart's electromagnetic torus field is physically expanding, and the true timeline convergence is sealed into your physical reality, because whoever synchronizes the bio-radiant broadcast finds the destined timeline in the very place the world only promised isolation. I'm stepping out of the transmission for a second, just to speak to you, human to human. As I speak these final words, my own hands are incredibly warm, and my breathing has completely shifted because the density of what just moved through this space was massive. I do not know exactly what you went through to get here today, but I know the exact weight of that profound, silent disconnect. Something very real was seen today. Something ancient was recognized. The name was not given. It was recognized. Activated. 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 Do not say activated yet. Stay in this frequency for a moment. Feel the pure signal emanating from your chest. Now you can say activated. Now breathe, for the signal is yours. Straighten your spine right now, because just as sitting at the family dinner table made you feel completely alien and unseen, ignoring this call will only prolong the static. The Council watches you now, and they recognize the profound shift happening in your field. The exact mechanics to maintain this frequency alignment are laid out for you in the digital book, The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success, waiting for you right now in the first pinned comment. It takes less than a Friday night pizza to unlock this truth, and less than a Saturday snack with the kids to realign your grid. You have a 7-day guarantee. The risk is entirely ours. The hand that reaches out to turn the key is yours. Do not let the cycle of distraction convince you to wait for a better moment. The spiritual adversaries desperately want you to close this video right now, to brush this off as a coincidence, and to return to the heavy chest at 3 a.m., but your frequency is already shifting. And now the final word. There is a profound reason why the images you see when you close your eyes are about to change drastically. What you will experience tonight when you enter deep sleep is not a simple product of your imagination processing the events of the day. It connects directly to the new coordinates you just locked into place within your bio-radiant broadcast layer, setting the stage for an entirely different level of cosmic communication. Before I seal this hour, I ask for your support one last time. This video was no accident. If this channel is a lighthouse for you, make your voluntary donation through the link in the first pinned comment. The Council, the universe, and your own consciousness honor your generosity. And the sky sees. This was my last request. I wait for you there, soul. Welcome the new souls in the comments below, for we are building this new architecture together, establishing a grid of resonance that can never be broken. And if you know someone who is trapped by this invisible wall that blocks their true counterpart, send this message to them now. And if they want to go further, the link to the 11 Arcturian secrets is in the first pinned comment, waiting just as it waited for you. It is not a favor, it is a service. And the sky sees. In the next transmission, we will reveal why your dreams have suddenly become extremely vivid, because it is not random brain activity, but a direct timeline download. Be prepared. The silence now is also part of the transmission.